CFM Radio.
Listen indeed, because it's time for CFM Radio.
Greetings and welcome, my dudes. It is once again Wednesday. Vector and I, your DJ Drix, we're back for some more video game music and news.
I'm your host, Vector. Drix, as always, is spinning the best video game music. Drix, I don't know what to tell you, man. I've got to I have to back up because I'm still living in it. This whirlwind of emotions that has happened over on Twitch this last week. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah. I can officially partition my life between the time before I beat Earthbound and the time after I beat Earthbound. Man, what a ride that was. I was emotionally moved. The entire fiber of my being was just becoming undone like a sweater song by Weezer, you know?
You could not fathom the form of Gigas's attack.
I really couldn't. And man, the power of Paula's prayer really came through like a spirit bomb against Frieza.
That was it was funny because I remember, if you weren't there, first of all, if you weren't there on Twitch Monday for the final Mother Monday, I don't know what to tell you, but I was there. And it was funny to hear you admit that, like, bro, I have not used prayer once in this whole playthrough.
Yeah, it's pretty random. It's kind of hit or miss. You can even give yourself like negative stat effects, you know, just by you put your friends to sleep and stuff, turn them into diamonds, all kinds of crazy Earthbound like things. Some of the wackiest status effects in that game that I've seen ever, you know. Put the mushroom on your head and now all your controls are backwards and upside down. It was nuts.
It was pretty cool for an RPG, I would say. Again, one of those RPGs that stands the test of time because things like reversed controls, like I guess dexterity checks, right? Like human dexterity checks. You don't really expect those in your turn-based role-playing game. Even Game of the Year last year, Baldur's Gate 3, turn-based role-playing game, did not have any dexterity-based skill checks. I mean, unless they were dice rolls in the game.
Yeah, not in the moment heals before your health rolls down to zero.
Literally rolls. Like
yeah, it takes a minute for your health to all the way go down to zero and for you to knock out cold.
Pretty awesome. And Drix, I gotta ask, what was your favorite moment or fight or whatever? Just your favorite part of Earthbound?
There's a special place in my heart for the Stoics Club, but also just some of the ruffians that you meet on the street, the Runaway Five and the unlikely friends you like, Everdread and Frank, the leader of the Sharks, the wacky enemies. But man, I think the backgrounds really take the cake. You know, like they were doing some pretty intense stuff for your eyes behind all the fights until the end. The background just, you know, consumes you in the final boss fight. It's crazy.
Absolutely wild. I definitely agree, especially with, okay, so here's the thing with Earthbound, right? You think that some of these backgrounds, like, you get through, like, what, halfway through the game, you're like, there can't be many more like this, and they just keep throwing different new trippy backgrounds at you.
Yeah. Battle baselines always changing.
Yes.
So hard. Diplo presents Earthbound, the soundtrack. There's not just one basic battle theme, one basic boss theme, but there's so much good music, so much creative sound design and atmosphere and stuff.
Creative energy. Earthbound is just absolutely overflowing with creative energy. Like,
yeah, an art student's dream come true, really.
100%. That's a really good way of quantifying Earthbound to someone who is not familiar. Absolutely. Yeah. If every art student ever either wants to make Earthbound, or if they don't, they've never played it.
Yeah, we should all want to make something akin to Earthbound.
But you know what? And that is the end of Mother Monday. Everyone.
Yeah. So RPG Theater will have to return bi-weekly with a new game. We'll see what happens next. Whether we'll keep it on the Super Nintendo era or maybe move up to something a little more disc, a little more 3D.
Ooh.
Possibilities are out there.
That would be very interesting.
My other bucket list RPG is Chrono Trigger. Just heads up. It was Super Mario RPG, then it was Earthbound. Chrono Trigger is the last trifecta outside of maybe like Final Fantasies like 4 and 6. But yeah, I'll try not to stand Final Fantasy too much in the game of the year talks ahead.
Hey, you know what? Final Fantasy is nominated for quite a bit. And hey, listen, we've had a remake of an SNES RPG and a straight up SNES RPG. Drix, I think it might be a good idea to take a step back from the old Super Nintendo. I'm not saying that it's bad or anything, but damn, bro, you are marathoning that thing.
Yeah. No, and my other option is Parasite Eve on the PS1. So when I throw down on PlayStation, I usually like to run DuckStation with a bit of visual enhancements, maybe 4K, 60 FPS, whatever the Gaming Memories podcast suggests, because that guy is always dropping the best way to mod and improve your old emulations.
Absolutely, and if anyone remembers the Mega Man Legends playthrough, that was, the power of DuckStation and what those little mods can do. Those little things, they add up and they really make it pop and really make it kind of look like a PS2 game in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and fitting any aspect ratio to your frame, blending extra pixels. For Mega Man Legends, I didn't even download any additional texture packs or anything like that. Those exist for certain games, but those were just features all in the settings menu of DuckStation. But yeah, people of the benevolent community of modders out there, they've made like updated textures and things like that. But I didn't dig anything else up for that playthrough.
Well, hey, you know what? If that's just built into DuckStation, that's pretty insane. And and listen, we both know well about PS1 emulation. We know that even though Mother Monday is over, you are hard at work contemplating your next move, because like you were saying last week, Parasite Eve, you could do Tyranny, and there's a couple other ones you could do too. So you have there's a wide variety that Drix can tackle on this next foray into RPGs. And you know what? I would even venture, Drix, you could even move into the like action RPG territory too. You know what I mean? Like Brave Fencer Musashi kind of thing, right? Like
that is a favorite of mine. Yeah. Yeah, it's Squaresoft, not yet Square Enix.
Absolutely. That is a great little game. But you know what? That's not just the only emotional ride that happened on Twitch, because last week on the Retro Gold Mine, we're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. That's also on the PS1. That's hitting you every Tuesday. And Drix, last week, I grinded it out. I got a Meteor Black Dragon and a Red Eyes Black Dragon. This week, I come back. I have no save file.
Oh no.
I have the save file, but I don't have my dragons. And it was so funny because Exploded Chris, one of our regulars over there on the Retro Gold Mine for Forbidden Memories, he's over there and he was like, we were celebrating because I went in, I beat Jono 2 again in free duel. He dropped another Red Eyes, and I was like, oh man, Red Eyes number 2. And then I looked and I was like, why does this thing say I only have one Red Eyes? And then I looked at my deck, and there was no Red Eyes in my deck.
Oh man, you got the lucky draw and then suffered the sweet sting of data loss.
the data loss. The data loss is a constant setback in this Forbidden Memories foray. But Drix, I'm not gonna let it get me down because we've been kicking a lot of ass. Our deck is in pretty good shape. We are now rocking 2 Red Eyes Black Dragons. Lost Meteor Black Dragon, but that's okay. And this week, next week in Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories, we're gonna grind it out pretty hard. We're gonna fight Ishizu in free duel for some magic cards. Hopefully, she gives us a dragon treasure, which powers up my dragons, and hopefully she also drops Swords of Revealing Light. It stops people from attacking, which is pretty nice.
Oh yeah, that was always fun in the anime.
Right? Just dropping that thing. You can't attack me for 3 turns, brother.
Yeah, showstopper.
Boom. And you know what? Hopefully, we're going to go back. We're going to grind out Jono 2 again. Hopefully, get some more dragons. And I said I was going to do the final 6. I didn't end up doing it because we just, the loss of Meteor Black Dragon, that's a 3,500 attack point monster. That's a lot of power. You need that power because these enemies in this final stretch of the game, they literally don't care. They just, it's like, all right, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, 4,500 attack points. I'm just going to drop that. It's like, wait, what?
The AI be cheating.
They do be. It's kind of wild. It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
But that's Tuesdays over on Twitch. Drix will let you know right here on CFM Radio when he's going to start up his next playthrough for Twitch.
Yeah, feel free to drop any requests. I'm definitely interested to hear what your favorite RPGs are, what you would like to see on RPG Theater.
Drop your requests for RPGs anywhere, any video, any you could drop them here, CFM Radio. And you know what? If you're listening with us live, give us a like. Let us know you're here. Everyone loves it. We love our viewers. Press the buttons, hit emotes. We love it. Yeah. So, Drix, I gotta say, even on the subject of love and stuff, another game I've been playing this week that I love is Unicorn Overlord. But besides that,
got him.
Besides that, I have been playing another game that I've actually been anticipating for a long time, but I'm just now getting around to playing. And I want to give my impressions because I went unexpectedly hard on it.
Oh yeah? Caught you by surprise in a good way, huh?
Caught me, it did. I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And that game, I'm dropping it on the screen right now, is Sonicxshadow Generations. Now, listen, you might think, man, but, Vector, you're a Sonic fan. Like, Sonic is like the main thing. Listen, Sonicxshadow Generations, I am looking forward to it, or I was looking forward to it for sure. But from what I understood, right, from all the feedback on this game and all the criticism that I had heard that this was kind of like a Super Mario 3D world plus Bowser's Fury situation where you have this like Sonic Generations, the game, and I can confirm that Sonic Generations on the game disc that you get for Sonicxshadow Generations, it is just straight up Sonic Generations. Like,
oh, well, all right then.
It looks good, the graphics definitely got a facelift. But and there's a couple of I honestly didn't get too deep into Sonic Generations to figure out if there was much new with it, but it pretty much just played like Sonic Generations, and the first like 5 stages are just the same. So Sonic Generations, Shadow Generations, actually is pretty interesting. It's first of all, Shadow Generations, it's its own thing. You go into the, like, when you boot up the game, it actually is like one of those multi-game things where it's like you could choose Sonic Generations or Shadow Generations. And
yeah, double DVD pack.
Exactly, and it has that weird quality to it, which is kind of funny. But Shadow Generations, I don't think it's like the best. Like, I don't think this is like the bee's knees. At least not from what I've played. I'll say it like this. It does not definitely doesn't seem like a 9 out of 10 like IGN gave it, at least for now. But I'm only about 7-ish hours into it. And I will say, Drix, like I was telling you earlier, it caught me by surprise in a good way. I got pretty hooked. When I sit down to play this game, I can't help but just keep going. Like, it's got a very strong one more go kind of feel, like quality.
Don't stop now.
Yeah.
Going. Go for that perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
you're coming hot off the heels of a Sonic Frontiers playthrough as well.
Absolutely.
You know, all the, similarities in the platforming.
There is a decent amount of similarities in the platforming, actually, and I was kind of surprised to feel it from a gameplay point of view. It's a really interesting to see, or it was really interesting to feel the subtle differences that Sonic and Shadow have between them, especially since Shadow's overworld area is free roam 3D, like Sonic Generations or Sonic Frontiers.
Yeah, definitely a bit of that crossing over, huh?
It definitely crosses over a lot, actually, because there's a lot of platforming challenges in the I think they call it white space. Like, there's plenty of platforming challenges that I haven't found any of them that lead to new levels, but a lot of them lead to like little treasure chests that have cool things. They have like lore or artwork.
Sure. Yeah. Art book stuff.
Yeah.
Concept and all.
And they even have music tracks that you can find. And you can swap. One of the cool things that I really like is that you can swap the music tracks of the stages with any track that you've unlocked.
Oh, pretty sweet. So if you're feeling a different song on a different stage, you can just smack the jukebox around and swap it out.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice little quality, especially for a Sonic game, because you do unlock a lot of cool music. It's funny enough, you unlock a lot of cool music if you go for those little optional challenges. And the bosses are pretty fun. You're seeing one right here. They're very nostalgic. Everything in this is pretty nostalgic. But here's the thing, Drix. And I think this is, if you're a Sonic fan, this is definitely a 9 out of 10. Because the things that are nostalgia hits for you are like, they're kind of like deep cuts.
Sweet.
Because funny, and this is a feeling that I realized, or a realization that I had, I guess I should say, while playing Shadow Generations, is that if you're dealing with Shadow as a character, you're kind of dealing with his story more than anything, right? Maria, like, that's but Drix, I gotta tell you, the nature of Shadow the Hedgehog is just Sonic deep cuts.
Oh,
like it's a really interesting thing to understand, because I'm one of the few people who played through when Shadow the Hedgehog originally came out. I played through it. I got all the endings. You have to beat that game like 50 times to get all the endings. So, like, you know, it's I know my damn Shadow the Hedgehog. It's
that
really
was my trash. I played with it often.
It definitely was. Oh my god! And is that game trash? It is really interesting to see the things that they decide to reference and the things that they decide to really go hard on. Like, they really, really draw you into Shadow as a character, and the character exploration of Shadow the Hedgehog is actually pretty well done. But the funny part about it is at least, and this is kind of how I feel, your mileage may vary, but for me, and again, I'm not finished with the game. I'm about 7 hours deep, but I have to say that it seems like all of the real edgy shit that was introduced in Shadow the Hedgehog proper is either A, kind of glossed over, or B, is just not acknowledged at all.
Yeah, so it may or may not be your favorite version of like the comic universe or things like that.
Right, and again, that's kind of nitpicky. Total transparency, total clarification. Pretty nitpicky. I'm pretty much a super fan. I fucking love me some Sonic the Hedgehog and stuff like that. And like, you know, the things that made Shadow the Hedgehog the memorable experience that it was, for what that's worth.
Better or worse.
Yeah, for better or worse. Kind of are, again, glossed over in this one, at least for now, because here's the thing. You're seeing it on the B-roll right now. I'm fighting Metal Overlord. This is kind of like the penultimate boss of Sonic Heroes, and this is kind of like through Shadow's perspective, and everything is through Shadow's perspective, obviously. And when Shadow gets to be Shadow, it's really cool. Like when Shadow actually there are a couple of exchanges in this game where Shadow's headstrong nature and his blind propensity for action over anything else really shine through, and it really makes you feel like you're getting to know the character, even though he's like transforming and like changing, and change is funny enough is a big theme of the game, like as like a meta idea. Like it's very, like, the narrative is good. When Shadow, like I said, when Shadow gets to be Shadow, it's really cool, and you get into it. It's actually pretty impressive when they get to do it, and when it gets to just be uninhibited, like, all right, Shadow is a badass, and we're going to show you how much of a badass he is. But there are definitely times where Shadow when it's like, all right, this happened in Shadow the Hedgehog, but like he said damn during it. So we really can't like have that be a flashback. Like
yes, not swear accurate, expletive deleted, redacted.
Yeah, like one of the big ones, again, not a spoiler, is the infamous scene of the gun troopers raiding the Ark and aiming the gun is replaced.
Oh.
Like that is I've just have to point it out because they gave you the 4Kids treatment where it's just the guy with his hand out and he's like not holding a gun, but he's clearly an armed soldier.
Yeah. What if we turned all the guns into walkie-talkies?
That's kind of what it is. Like, we're gonna get you with my invisible finger gun. But like, it does kind of take the piss out of some of the things that really, like, if you're familiar with Shadow and his backstory. And honestly, this is one of those games that makes you really kind of, in a weird way, appreciate again, for lack of a better phrase, the visceral imagery of the original release of Shadow the Hedgehog. Like,
yeah, I need it. Makes me want to pull out my PS2 disc of that.
I mean, yeah, like, you know,
you got the Star Wars Special Edition now or something. Where the
you kind of have like the weird glossed over edition of it, and as if you're an old head like me and you saw it, it's so strange to look at it and be like, huh, you know, he literally held a gun to her. Like
Leo DiCaprio pointing at the TV, like, that's different, that's not the meme.
Pretty much, like, because again, can't believe I'm using these adjectives. The visceral imagery of the original Shadow the Hedgehog is very much lost in the translation of this, but the character and the character's intensity, and funny enough, his entire backstory, you're seeing it on the B-roll right now, is there and it is intact. Like,
Okay.
like to the point where like to the point again, you're seeing like Gerald Robotnik and Maria right here because Sonic, not a big spoiler, Sonic Generations is a time thing, like time anomaly story.
Wobbly, timey-wimey.
Yes, absolutely timey-wimey. But you know, for all that and all like the little story nitpicks you could go on a tangent like I just did about, you could also say that there's that many little, at least for me, tiny gameplay quirks that you either need to get used to or that aren't really explained or shown to you in a really clear way that you're just kind of expected to get. Perfect examples that I can think of are the, I think it's called the Doom Morph, where Shadow essentially becomes a squid.
Yeah. Inkling Shadow.
Yeah. Like, that is a pretty versatile form and has a lot of movement options, but like half of those options and their versatility, honestly, like the versatility of these options and how you can actually maneuver in this form isn't even really shown to you when you get it. You kind of just have to figure it out.
Okay. Yeah,
And-
Minecraft your way through the movements.
Sort of, but like the problem, Drix, with that is that this is a Sonic game. And
Yeah. You're not trying to jump over mountains in Skyrim.
that's what I'm saying. Well, I mean, you're not.
What it feels like.
If you are trying to jump over mountains in Skyrim, but you could do it in little tiny incremental jumps. You can't do that in this. If you miss one, you kind of just screw yourself. And like, it's not just the Doom Morph either, right? That's the thing, is that you got the Doom Morph that has like a lot of good mobility options that are very versatile and fun to use when you actually figure them out and figure out how to do it, but and like take advantage of them. But there's also like Doom Wings, and honestly, I don't know at this point in the game if I can use the Doom Wings outside of the times that I'm prompted to use the Doom Wings, because Drix, I've never been able to activate the Doom Wings ever again.
Oh.
And I don't know if I'm
slight
doing
issue.
something wrong, right?
Yeah.
It's just very strange, very and all of these things. The game is feature rich. Don't get me wrong, especially for like a side campaign, because you do get the entirety of pretty much one of the best Sonic games in the last 15 years. But like alongside this game, but those little tiny new additions and mechanics, they feel just a little bit shoehorned in, you know. And again, you could go even deeper into it. Like there's a it's like a, I don't forget what the name of the maneuver is called, but it's like a Doom combo, and like you like hold whenever you see like a Black Arms alien, you can combo him and essentially do like a Marvel vs. Capcom launcher and teleport up to him, and then hit him with a follow-up that launches him somewhere else that can break something. But like sometimes you'll see more than one option to break, but that auto aim is just locking on to one thing and you just can't get it to budge.
Ooh,
like,
that's
you know,
neat.
just strange little nitpicks that are all over this game that, like, you know, I get into it for like 2 or 3 hours at a time, and then like I realize I put it down because something is just so annoying, or I'm just so done with fighting with this one thing for this long, you know?
Yeah, whether it be like the gravity or the camera or the locking, some kind of physics, something mechanical that just tastes a little bitter in the mouth, huh?
Exactly. There's just a little bit of bitterness to Sonicxshadow Generations, and I'm gonna I'll come back next week with a bigger picture review. But for now, the main, while I do like all the new mechanics and I do like all the new moves, I definitely think they are lacking in the execution department, because it is just they are just quirky.
Yes, anything new and spectacular they may have added is not without its quirks.
Yeah, and like as an old head, again, the Shadow Generations part of it and the characterization of Shadow, when Shadow gets to be Shadow and he gets to like do his like cool Shadow shit and like actually be Shadow and be like, all right, fuck this, I'm just gonna do what I need to do, you know what I mean? Like, and just gets to be, oh, I need to get a new power, bah! You know, like he gets to be Shadow. Like, he's awesome. But then you get like these weird moments where he's like reflecting on things, and it's like the PG-13 or the PG version of a PG-13 reflection. Like,
okay.
Yeah, very, very strange. Makes it kind of tonally inconsistent, at least if you have that knowledge. But if you don't have that knowledge, it's a pretty good retelling of everything, especially when it comes to the boss fights. The boss fights are pretty epic. The stages are good. I love the level design. Everything feels like a nonstop thrill ride. But speaking of nonstop thrill rides, we definitely that's gonna be it for my impressions, because I want to move on to some quick gaming news before we move on to our new releases.
Video game news.
Some good ones tonight.
Oh yeah. And you know what? We're going to keep this first story pretty quick, because now, Drix, I've seen these headlines floating around, and maybe you have too, of Sony, quote unquote, looking to buy the parent company of From Software, right? Have you seen these?
Wow. Yeah, no, that seems like a steep purchase only for big pockets.
So, you know,
like Sony.
So, you know, Drix, here's the thing. I don't know if anyone who's covering this kind of realizes, but the parent company of From Software is the Katakawa Corporation.
Yeah, see, that's a name I'm not familiar with. FromSoft, I know.
Okay.
Bandai Namco, I know.
Okay.
Kadokawa, that seems pretty Japanese.
Okay, so here's the thing. Really quick, we're going to go to the headline from animecorner.me. That headline is, quote, Katakawa confirms interest from Sony in official statement. And the translation of the statement from the article reads, quote, some media outlets have reported on the acquisition of our company by Sony Group Corporation. However, this is not an announcement made by our company. While we have received an initial expression of interest regarding the acquisition of our shares, no decisions have been made at this time. Should any facts arise that require disclosure, we will announce them promptly. And Drix, reading further, quote, the Sony Group holds approximately 2% of Kadokawa shares as of March 2024, and Kadokawa's stock has seen a significant increase following yesterday's reports. According to Nikkei, its stock price rose to 4,445 yen, up 700 yen, 18.69% from the previous day, reaching the upper limit of the price range. And this marks a new high record, our new record high since its listing. Now, okay, here's the thing. It is the Katakawa Corporation, because, Drix, this isn't so narrow as to buying FromSoft. That's kind of where IGN and Polygon go. Drix, this is more like buying anime.
Wow. The entire mistake that is anime.
Yeah. That's kind of why I chose the outlet that I did, the Anime Corner, because, you know, Drix, here's the deal. Really quick, you're not too familiar with Kadokawa, but Drix, let me ask you: are you familiar with Enterbrain?
No, is that a show? An animation, perhaps?
No, they are another. They're a publishing outlet, and they also publish video games. They publish video games and manga. Are you familiar with Spike Chunsoft or Dawango?
No, not companies. Mostly listen to music.
You know, Spike Chunsoft, they do a lot of game development work from Nintendo, and Dawango has a lot of Dawango. You might know him as Dawango Music Publishing.
Ah, okay. Getting warmer.
So, you know, right there, I'll stop right there. Because this is one of those things where we think that Microsoft, over here in the West, we think that Microsoft acquiring ActiBliz is fucking huge. And it is. It's a big acquisition. But if Sony acquires Kadokawa, that's kind of like CBS acquiring NBC.
Yeah, and it seems so different, you know, Sony having their hands in music, movies, all kinds of media, and then eating another giant media entity, you know, specifically Japanese or whatever. It's a big money move, not just owning a certain voting share of stock, but entering underneath the umbrella.
Indeed, Drix, indeed. And you know, that would be quite the maneuver in this current environment. But you know what? We're going to talk more maneuvers that come close to home because we have new releases after this. Because Drix, what are we jamming out to?
Speaking of FromSoft, playing some music from the Armored Core series. This song is called Insurance Money.
Oh. Insurance Money, Armored Core. We are live, CFM Radio.
Hosted by Clusterfucked Media.
CFM Radio, we are back.
Yeah, that song goes out to my number one Digimon fan, Vector. That was a song called Masked Necromancer from Digimon's story Cyber Sleuth.
Cyber Sleuth. Fuck yeah, that's a great track. I thought I recognized that shit. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, goes pretty hard. It's pretty metal. For the rest of the soundtrack is more banging electronic dance music and stuff. But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Hell
Good
yeah,
strings
dude.
there.
That's one of my favorite games of like the last generation. Like
Yeah, recent Digimon. And right now I've got a song from Scald, Against the Black Priory. So as old as it might sound, it's actually kind of a new release.
Oh wow, there we go. And hey, you know what? We got a new release right now with Drix. Drix provided us some awesome B-roll from Metaphor ReFantazio. You're looking at that right now on the screen.
Yeah, speaking of anime, man, I was just blown away by the production value in these cutscenes and stuff. I had to grab some of them.
Hell yeah, they're great.
Yeah, with CFM Radio fans, it looks awesome. And yeah, I was playing the demo and I'm absolutely loving it so far. It's really not as Persona as I would have expected. You know,
thank goodness.
Persona in the front, party in the back.
Right, thank God too, because you know, the games like these and like styles like these, they really do run the big risk of like totally losing their identity and just being like, oh, it's just Persona and another skin. Like,
you see art like this and now you have expectations, and whether they're good or bad or just a little different.
Right? Like, and like I said, I'm thankful that you're saying that this has its own identity, other than just fantasy Persona. Like,
yeah, it is a ReFantazio and not a Neo-Fantasian.
There we go. And hey, you know what? We've got some Neo releases. That was a bad one. Because
no, I liked it. I'm with it. I appreciate those dad puns.
We got some new releases, Drix. And first up, you know what? Here I got a little bit of a story on this next trailer, because this was kind of hard to get. There's no trailer on YouTube for this next game, or for the first new release of the week that I have to show you, because it is called Electrological.
Oh, that's actually quite illogical, not having a trailer for your new release.
Yes, I had to actually rip this off of the Steam website page for it, like directly.
Thanks. Digging for the deep cuts.
Indeed. And here it is from that Steam page, quote, Jigsaw plus Puzzle Arithmetic is a casual yet engaging game that appeals to puzzle gamers who enjoy immersive experiences. Customize your gameplay by rearranging piece placement, number manipulation, and score selection to aim for a high score in each stage. Electrological releases exclusively for PC via Steam tomorrow, Thursday, November 21st. And Drix, this game looks pretty cool, right? Jigsaw puzzle plus arithmetic.
Yeah, for a game that involves just like math, you know, it might be as fun as like Math Blasters or something else you would play in your after-school care.
Yeah, man. Who knows?
Done, of course.
Seriously, who knows? This might help you get your homework done.
Yeah, at least flex those math muscles you may or may not be using in your daily life.
Very true. Definitely seems like one of those Baba is you experiences. So if you're looking for a new type of puzzle game, check out Electrological.
Yeah, for all you Sudoku fans out there.
Indeed. And next up we have Eden. EDYN. From the Steam page, quote, join the battle for Eden, the ultimate multiplayer strategy game. Build settlements, command armies, and unify the realms in epic PvP warfare to etch your legacy into history.
Wow, multiplayer, real time, sounds pretty action-packed for a strategy game.
Yeah, this PvP-focused 4X strategy game releases tomorrow, Thursday, November 21st, exclusively on Steam as well. Big day for Steam releases tomorrow, Drix.
Yeah, pretty PC heavy. And speaking of PC releases, we got a big name coming up.
A big one.
Phones.
And that
one of my favorites.
That name is Stalker. Stalker 2: Heart of Chernobyl, Drix, released today. And here it is from the Xbox store page, quote, "Discover the vast Chernobyl exclusion zone, full of dangerous enemies, deadly anomalies, and powerful artifacts. Unveil your own epic story as you make your way to the heart of Chernobyl. Make your choices wisely, as they will determine your fate." Now, Drix, sounds like you were a big fan of Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl. I too was a big fan, and even without the mods, so I'm definitely gonna check this one out when I have the chance to, because Drix, again, it's out now on Xbox consoles and PC. It's on Game Pass. Go play it.
Yeah, if you logged into the Steam and open up the store page, it is right there making headlines. And yeah, be careful how you spend your time in the zone. You never know when there's monsters and strange anomalies around the corner.
Drix, 2 words. Quick save.
Yeah, absolutely. Do not Iron Man until you are absolutely ready.
And we are going to jump right into the second part because we have a big ol' Helldivers exclusive here. So we're just going to jump right into it, Drix.
Yeah. As a contender for Game of the Year, we got some pretty deep thoughts on it from the developers. Absolutely,
and it's always good to hear these kinds of reflections because, these guys, they came out of the gate swinging. Arrowhead, they kind of didn't know what to do with their own success right there. Kind of like a Pal World situation, right?
Yeah. No, it slapped them like a fish in the side of the head. I really liked what we were discussing the last time. We had an article and an interview from the Arrowhead developers. I really like their perspective on how Helldivers was like more of a tabletop game. Seems they're really falling into their own now.
Absolutely. And now we have, okay, here's the thing, guys. We know the Game Awards nominations came out. We're going to talk about it. But first, here's that interesting Helldivers 2 interview to go over. And this interview is in Korean, but there's a lot of interesting insight from the developers, and it is from inven.co.kr. The Google translated headline is, quote, "Helldivers 2, back to normal, past and future."
Yeah, they've already hit a couple waves, both high and low, in the year or so it's been out playing.
10 months, I think.
I haven't played it consistently recently, but every time I come back, I'm just stoked to see what they've added, the changes they've made, and whether they buffed or nerfed my favorite gun.
So I think that's a good place to start, actually, Drix. Really quick, since you are an infrequent player, but a player of the game, when you do go back to Helldivers, is it always a rewarding experience, or are there times when you're just kind of like, whatever?
I'm at about 100%. Every time I come back after a break, there's always a new war bond, and the war bond brings new gears and stuff. And you don't necessarily have to buy them either. Like if you play enough, you dig deep enough on each of the levels and pull up enough super credits, you can actually earn them after enough time. And if you buy the right choices and have the right loadouts, then picking up more super credits along the way gets a little easier. So assemble your squad and get out there. But yeah, I really loved all the new things I experienced every time I came back after a little departure. Man, after what they're calling the 60-day update, I can't wait to get back in and start helldiving.
Funny enough, they did talk about that in this. I'm not going to get too into the 60-day update itself, but that is a big talking point in this interview. We're going to jump right.
Translate it yourself.
Right, yeah, exactly. We're going to jump right into it though, because the outlet caught up with the developers at the G-Star conference in Bexco or Biko. I don't know how to say it, in South Korea. And from the article, quote, "Helldivers 2, a blockbuster hit." This is the direct translation of the lecture topic. When I first saw it, I had no idea what they were going to talk about. Helldivers 2 was definitely a blockbuster hit. It recorded 750,000 concurrent users. And at the beginning of the year, it was considered a game that would seriously aim for Game of the Year this year. The problem was what was that in the following months, all sorts of incidents and accidents occurred, causing gamers' reactions to hit rock bottom. As a gamer who experienced this period, it was not an easy topic to accept. And I'm going to stop right here really quick, because this is a really interesting thing that one of the main reasons why I stopped and really paid attention to this interview and article, because this guy right here, as a gamer who experienced this period, it was not an easy topic to accept. This guy really felt like this game had some downturns. He was not happy.
Yeah, I might have been a little late to that party, but it was definitely one of the first games I picked up after purchasing my PS5.
And hey, you know, it's kind of it's always interesting to me, because to see these I guess the different reactions, or the different like
the party is completely different depending on when you arrive, how early or late.
Exactly, and how long you stay, right? So
yeah.
And we're gonna jump back right in here. However, quote, however, the question mark at the end of the lecture topic was also meaningful. The lecture, which I thought would be self-praise in the beginning, turned into desperate self-reflection, regret, and explanation of efforts to overcome after the middle. It almost seems like the speakers were kneeling during the lecture. And hey, listen, us in the West might be like, huh, kneeling? This is a South Korean publication, people. Like,
yeah, that's how you apologize correctly.
And then, you know, that's the top of this article, Drix. And the following interview has Arrowhead leads Johan Palist and Shand Zorhani talking about.
Yeah, I think the J is silent from over there.
Zorhani talking about the ups and downs of the last year of the game and their future plans. Some interesting ones are crossover IP projects and vehicles. From the interview, quote, in addition to this, we are also planning crossovers, collaborations with other IPs. We don't want to do too many crossovers, but we are considering appropriate collaborations that fit the game's atmosphere. For example, collaborating with Power Rangers will be difficult in terms of concept, but maybe we could do something like the Black Ranger? Then the question, the follow-up question, what exactly are you talking about when you say crossovers with other IPs? And here's Johan Palist. Nothing has been decided yet. We are also considering IPs like Warhammer. Zorani comes in. Alien also seems like a pretty good theme. What do you think? Would that be good? So they've got a lot of good ideas.
Yeah, and the reporter replies, like, I think IPs like StarCraft or Starship Troopers would be the best fit. Like, yeah, no, this Helldivers 2 has pretty much been
perfect.
Like Star Trooper, the game. That's my like short one sentence way of describing it.
Right here, Zorani also bringing in the Zerg from StarCraft would be good. Bringing in Terran Marine weapons would be cool too, something like a Gauss rifle. And you know, he also talked about drivable vehicles. And he kind of remarked that a lot of the people who play the game, they might not even be old enough to drive.
Oh yeah, no, they make some funny. Whenever they talk about the dev team, they just refer to them as like Super Earth, and like Super Earth is like, oh well, we consider the economics of the battlefield, and you know we don't think it's a good idea to send expensive vehicles down to planets where you know kids who may or may not be 18 yet may or may not drive them well. It's not economic for Super Earth and managed democracy.
He also, another funny tidbit in this article is that there is a confirmation from these developers that not all Helldivers canonically are 18.
Yeah. They start the draft a little early on Super Earth.
pretty wild. There's a pretty wild interview. Anybody who is a fan of Helldivers should check it out. I found this on N4G, but again, it is m-inven-co.cr. That headline is, quote, oh, I scrolled past it. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. There it is. Headline is, quote, Helldivers 2, back to normal, past and future.
Yeah. Luckily, they're being a bit more cautious than like Fortnite and Call of Duty, so you probably won't see like Goku, Naruto, Nicki Minaj, and lightsabers.
At the same time.
Yeah, not all at once anyway.
And wow, all right. And you know what, Drix? All right. We told everybody that we were going to talk about it, so let's just talk about it. It's the Game Awards, Drix.
Yes, the coveted Game Awards. Many nominations for Game of the Year. It's getting towards the end. We're wrapping things up. Both in the year and on our CFM Radio broadcast. About to step into our winter break. But we have plans to talk Game of the Year first thing in January.
Absolutely. We are going to be talking Game of the Year in January. Because, listen, this year was kind of crazy. There's a lot of great releases. And me and Drix, we got to play some of these. Right?
Yeah, no, that's pretty much our plan too for the rest of the year, is make sure we get all of our personal Game of the Year nominations in, get some serious hands on those controllers, so we can give you the best game journalism we can.
Absolutely. And okay, so here's the thing, Drix. Game of the Year for nominations themselves for Game of the Year, my God. I think we have... I want to say this is probably the most exciting Game of the Year nomination list that I've seen in a while. We've got Astrobot, Balatro.
Yeah. what a poker roguelite.
Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, the anti-critic game. We have another controversy, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree, a DLC for Game of the Year.
Yeah, the year of the DLC here.
The year of the DLC. Then we have, I don't know if anyone would consider this a DLC, but it's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah, bit of a middle child in the remake series.
And then we've got Metaphor, ReFantazio. Drix is playing that one right now. He'll have his impressions of the demo at least from coming at you next week before we go on our break. So, you know, out of all of these, Drix, I think both you and I can agree Balatro is like what?
Yeah, a little too indie, little too poker for me. I mean, imagine if somebody said the Game of the Year was poker. It's like, well, which one? Texas Hold'em, 5-card draw? Like,
nah, bro,
what?
Balatro.
I mean, some countries enjoy tabletop simulators and in their Steam library, but yeah, I'm sure it has a cool twist and some kicks that everybody's talking about. It keeps kind of popping up in conversations that I'm having with other gamers. Personally, not my cup of tea. I'm not gonna look at 4 of Hearts.
I would encourage you to at least give it a shot, because it's like a $20, $15, $10 game. You can play it on a phone.
Yeah.
It's mainly because Drix.
It's fun mobile, actually.
Yeah, it's a really good idea mobile, I think. And because here's the thing, Drix. This is on my short list for Game of the Year on a personal note. But mainly because, I bought it at the beginning of the year.
You're a much better poker player than I do.
Well, funny enough that really doesn't matter in Balatro. Balatro is, honestly, my poker skill doesn't translate
Might make me a better poker player?
Maybe, because the hands are still the hands. Because, if you don't know poker hands, then by God, you will by the end of Balatro. But
Yeah, exactly. Great way to learn if you're going to Vegas anytime soon.
yeah, but like mainly as a guy who's played a lot of roguelites and roguelikes, Balatro, it is no bullshit. People, and that, I really think it at the end of the day, now that we're here, looking back at the year, I think the poker playing card aesthetic does it way less favors than it does any kind of like recognizable boon, because I get that same feedback that you give me from like half the people I play. It's cards, bro. It's like, bro, it's like not. It's like,
give me like the Microsoft card backs that we used to pick.
Like, it's like so not
like Windows
cards,
95.
bro. Like, that's the thing. It's like just so, and I hate to be, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be an asshole. But that ain't cards, bro. It's Balatro. Like, and it's
no. We're not playing poker. We're playing Balatro.
We're playing Balatro, and like it's because the roguelite elements of the game, the way you can manipulate the cards, the different effects that you could put on the cards, the way that cards, like the way that you can edit your deck, the way that your deck can just change naturally, the way that you need to be able to change your way of thinking on the fly. Like there's so much strategy, and there's so it's it's pretty deep, bro. Like it's
deep.
Pretty
Deep strategy.
Deep strategy, bro. And like I'm a really big like strategy gamer. I play a bunch of strategy, all kinds of strategy, turn-based strategy, real-time strategy, you name it, I play it. Balatro is a hell of a strategy game. I really do like it. Like
yeah, no, I'll at least have to give it a little taste. If I can't buy every Game of the Year nominee, I'll at least have to download the demo. Get some solid impressions on, know what I'm dealing with.
Absolutely. You know, and some of these, again, guys, some of these you can play on game trials on PlayStation with PlayStation Plus. You get like 10 hours for free. Like,
yeah. There's plenty of options if you just, want to give it a little taste.
Yeah. And because, because, right here, best game direction, too. You also have Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, and Shadow of the Erd Tree. It's like the same thing. Yeah. It's like the same list.
It is the same list.
It's the same list. Yeah. I mean, and then we have best narrative. I mean, here's my deal. I don't think Final Fantasy VII
like 3
Rebirth...
out of 5 are the same, yeah.
Well, but I don't think Rebirth and Silent Hill 2... should be up here because I mean maybe it's just me again. I don't want to be that guy, but best narrative, these narratives are not new.
Yeah. And 7 Remake definitely takes a lot of liberties.
Yeah, I mean that's why I kind of say like 7 Rebirth Remake, maybe maybe that skirts by, but Silent Hill 2, man, that's just Silent Hill 2.
Yeah. I can't see them changing a whole lot from Silent Hill 2 other than, graphics and sound and paint job.
So like what when we're going down this this list, I will say there's a couple of I would say snubs that really stand out. One of those snubs is Pal World. Yeah.
No, not anywhere on anyone's Game of the Year list so far. You might find it on CFM Radio's in January.
But like there's like it's not a. Are you telling me that Pal World does not have great multiplayer? Are you telling me that Pal World is not one of the best ongoing games? You're telling me that Pal World is not.
They have categories that would fit perfectly in.
You're telling me that Pal World should not be runner up for best community support.
Yeah, really. They have options. But the Nintendo legal battle.
Yes. That is definitely one of those things that is underlying this game awards, I guess, debacle. But another one of these things that is these Game Awards that's kind of casting a shadow of the Game Awards, Drix, is Drix. They came out and said, and I think this is totally understandable, but they said that viewer and fan participation will make up 10% of the vote, and then 90% of the vote will be to these outlets. And like that process in of itself, fine, whatever. I understand you got to fight bots, right?
Yeah.
You can't have somebody meme a game into winning, right?
Be a lot cooler if you did.
Yeah, I mean, I would think so, but I can understand the logic.
Not if you're a respectable publication. Like
exactly, but that's what I'm. That's
they
one
play
of
your content at GameStops.
That was one of the things that I was gonna say. Is that if you're a respectable publication, and now Drix, we're winding down here on the show, and I'm not about to put anybody on a pedestal, and I'm not about to say that, hey man, you gotta listen to CFM Radio. Hey man, you shouldn't listen to IGN. Hey man, fuck Polygon. I'm not saying anything like that. But what I am saying is the Game Awards they clarified that element of the award show process and how they were voting. And I don't want this to detract from any of the games or the nominations of those games and the categories that they are being nominated for. But when you announce that 90% of the vote will be weighed in and basically decided by these publications, and you have publications like, I don't know, Drix, Kinda Funny New or kindafunny.com.
That's not kind of funny.
Yeah, like, NPR.
Really? You don't care about games.
Like the Washington
My scene. We're nerds.
Post,
Go home.
the New York
Jeff
Times. Yeah, Jeff Bezos. You have these legacy publications, and like, here's the thing, right? IGN, Polygon, GameSpot, whatever, all these places, the usual suspects, right? Yeah, they got the Jeff Gerstmann show. That's cool. Throwing it out there, one for the indies. But Drix, the LA Times?
Yeah, no. Get out of my scene. I'm gatekeeping it from you.
Bloomberg?
No, go home. This is not your party. We're playing Dungeons and Dragons. Get out of here. You don't want none of this.
Like, I don't know, man. Like, and then whatever. You're into legacy media, right? You're into lip service for legacy media, right? Whatever. But then they took down the list of all of these publications. So you can't it's floating around there, but you can't really.
People getting upset, huh?
Yeah, it's not even. You can no longer at a glance check it out.
They don't want to fan any angry flames, do they?
It doesn't look like it. It's a very strange situation, at least to me. Command Zero in the chat. What's up? Joseph Ledesma, Command Zero. Everybody. Oh my God. Everybody in the chat. How's it going?
Love you guys. Thanks for stopping by.
Talking the Game Awards, and you know what? Here, I for what it's worth, people are like, "Oh man, the Game Awards, it's just a big advertisement. It's just a big whatever, blah blah." I would like to say there is some merit to the Game Awards. Like, come on, man. It's not like these games, like, you could look at Baldur's Gate 3 for an example of the effect of the Game Awards, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's got more people playing it today, these days, than it had when it came out.
Yes, the indie game that ended AAA.
So the Game Awards definitely has a palpable effect on the ecosystem of gaming. So we can't just pretend that it's some dog and pony show. Like,
yeah, here is where the mainstream would like to direct your attention.
And
check out Bellator.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we gotta really give credit where credit's due. Balatro being nominated for so many things is a great thing. Games like such as Black Myth Wukong, that's already getting backlash from outlets like The Gamer, who are like, here's why it doesn't deserve the nomination. It's like, bro, shut up.
Get out of here.
You know,
Did you play it though?
The most bought game on the PlayStation 5. Oh no, it doesn't deserve anything, bro.
No. No. Is it the kids who are wrong?
Yeah, exactly. Totally. So like, you know, I don't know what's up when it comes to that. And I don't know what's up with it when it comes to the Game Awards shying away from, I guess, transparency. People are saying transparency like it's some kind of like buzzword. But in this kind of case, it kind of is.
Like you're entitled to it.
Yeah, like you're entitled to it. But in this case, you know, it kind of is shisty to be like, hey, here's all the publications. Oh, wait a minute, you're criticizing the publications? Uh-oh, better hide them. It's like, really? Like,
yeah, okay, it's not a good move. You never should have told us in the first place.
Yeah, what's up with that? Or when you were telling us, tell us like on the day of the show, you know?
Yeah, when it's already too late. The proof is in the pudding.
So, either way, the Game Awards, definitely check out the nominees for yourselves. Got some interesting ones. Star Wars Outlaws getting nominations, even though it was like mostly panned by people. Like it's got pretty much.
At least it got a solid vocal performance. That's noteworthy. So
yeah.
At least some of the talent did a spectacular job. Kudos.
It's also got some. I think I saw it on the art direction right there. You know, you got like so you have like a Stellar Blade got got nominated for best audio. You know what I mean? So you got some. You definitely have some like eyebrows being raised. Super Mario Party Jamboree for best multiplayer game. Like, whoa, man! Like, really? Mario Party going head to head with Helldivers? Like, damn.
Mini game Royale versus Starship Troopers. Like, okay.
Damn, what a hell of a year.
Yeah. If you don't think they're making good games, you haven't been looking.
Right. And here's another snub that I really don't want to go without mentioning before we wrap up things here on CFM Radio. Dragon Age: The Veilguard. No matter what you think about it, I haven't played the game yet, but listen, this game is getting everything. It's running the gamut of review scores from like 4s and 3s to like 9s.
Huh.
So I want to know how this game only got nominated for like one award at the Game Awards, and it wasn't even Best Narrative. So like when this game has such a polarizing opinion around it. So like I think that's kind of a big snub. Like, you know, that and Pal World not getting any sort of like big recognition is kind of lame. But I mean, them's the bricks, and that's the Game Awards. I guess we'll see on December 12th. So
yeah. Will CFM Radio's picks fall in step with the others, or will we blaze our own trail?
We'll definitely find out. But what we're going to find out right now is how many of you loved what we were doing. Give us a like. Thank you, everybody who tuned in. Commando Zero, Joseph Ledesma, Vector, Joseph Drix Music, everybody in the chat. Thank you so much. Everybody who gave us likes, everybody who dropped us little hearts. Thank you very much.
Thanks for another wonderful year of CFM Radio. We've got, one more show for you coming up the night before Thanksgiving, Black Wednesday, if you will.
Black Wednesday.
We're going to take our little holiday break and be back with more Game of the Year 2024 talk in 2025.
Yes, Game of the Year 2020. The CFM Awards will be in January of 2025. We will be next week is indeed our last CFM Radio of the year. We will be offline on Wednesdays until the 8th of January. CFM Radio comes back on the 8th. The CFM Awards will be either the 22nd or 29th of that month. But we will not have CFM Radio in December. We will have the final CFM Radio next week, right before Thanksgiving.
Yes. We'll let you enjoy your holidays with your video games and maybe some families as well.
And I will finally say that the Retro Gold Mine will continue on Tuesdays.
Yeah. If you do miss Clusterfucked Media, we might be playing on Twitch.
We'll be on Twitch.
There. Yeah.
Twitch.tv/CFM on Twitch. Make sure you're following us over there. YouTube.com/clusterfuckedmedia. That's FUKT Media. Make sure you have a subscribe to us right here. Give us a like. Drop us some comments. We really want to know what you think. Drix wants to know what you guys want to see him play.
Oh yeah. Drop your requests anywhere, and I'll get your music on the air.
We are on TikTok. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We are everywhere. Check us out on social media. And Drix, are you ready for next week?
Yeah, just about. Really proud of everything we've done here. A lot of good reviews came in recently. Hope you're checking those out. Getting some publishers, some good PR, and some honest feedback on their creations and final products. But kudos to everyone. Thank you all for making CFM Radio what it is.
Thank you, everybody, for listening, tuning in. We are here every Wednesday. We are here for you with the best video game music and news. We play it all live. We hunt the headlines. We show you the best stuff. We are here for you, and we love you all. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for another great year. And it's not over, because we got one more show for you next week. Make sure you're there. It will be the final CFM Radio of 2024.
Yes. Try to keep you both informed and entertained.
Have a good night, everyone. See you next week.
So long.